Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jusic, just checking in, doing an investment videos because a lot of my students needed one. They asked me for one. I was doing some videos back in the days and I stopped to focus on grad school. But this is actually a resource that I was actually sharing with a friend earlier on today. She has a lot of money invested in the bank, is in her savings and her checkings, but she doesn't have any of that money invested in the stock market or in any type of investments. So I was trying to show her what's going to happen with that money over time. So I just wanted to share that resource with you guys, right? So this is an investment calculator. So I'm gonna just show you what happens to your money if it just sits in a bank account, right? So Chase and most banks are gonna give you a 0.01% APY, right? So that's a year. So if you have $1,000, you're looking to get it's 10 cents. Yep, you heard that correct, 10 cents. So it's not really good to have your money getting these returns a year because inflation rate is just going to deteriorate your returns. Like the inflation is higher than this. So literally you're losing money by leaving your money in the bank account. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what's happening and I'll show you the math behind it. If you look up other banks, Bank of America, this is literally what they're giving you. They might give you like 0.02% return, like if you're doing like a special type of savings account or if it's a business account, but it's horrible. These are some of the best online, right? And they're giving you a little bit more, which is good, right? Affirm is really good. These are the best for high yield savings account. And it's still like very bad. Now, I just want to quickly go over just the inflation rate and just talk a little bit about that, right? So let's just Google it, right? So boom, inflation rate. Let's see, boom. So that's the inflation rate for 2020. It's actually the lowest it's been in a while. Um, but if you look at the previous, since going back to 2017, the inflation rate has been, ranging from 2% to about 0.62%, right? And when you compare that to what you're receiving, it doesn't measure up, right? So you're losing more money. Your money, well, not you necessarily, because it's not like your money is going to disappear, but the value of your money is going down by, we go by the inflation rate. Um, let's just average this out to 1% to keep it simple, right? So if you have $1,000 in the bank, by next year is gonna be valued at 1% less, not because it's gonna go down, right? It's still gonna be $1,000, but what you can get with $1,000 is gonna go up. So like the cost of living is gonna go up, the cost of foods and all those things is gonna go up. So that's literally what inflation is. Your money's not going anywhere, but everything else is gonna go higher in price, right? So your power is gonna go down by 1%. So if you were gonna be smart about it, like that's not the way to go with the checkings and savings because like you're losing more money by leaving it there. So in comes in the investment calculator, right? And then I'll show you guys how it works a little bit with the situation that we're talking about right now. So let's say you have $1,000 in it right now. Um, and then you add another $1,000, right? Boom. Let's see what happens after a year with the return that you're getting from the banks. Here we go. So now you just made 10 cents. You made 10 cents. Your $2,000 made 10 cents return in 2 years, which is horrible. Which is horrible because in the inflation rate, you're losing about $1.80, right? $1.50. And this is just horrible. So now let's just think about the stock market. just average, right? Just the average stock market. So since 1926, right, the stock market in general has been returning approximately 10 to 11% return. This is taking into consideration all the bull markets or the bear markets, the ups and downs, blah, blah, blah. You average all that, you got 10 to 11% return. It's been a little bit less than that since the S&P 500 was introduced in 1956. It has been roughly about 8%, right? So we could say that overall, the margin of error is from, or the margin of increase, 8 to 11%. So you're going to get something along that range if you're just thinking historically, right? If you just put your money in the stock market and just leave it alone, historically, you're going to get that percent in return. Some years it might go up, some years it might go down, but that's historically what's happening, right? So that's better than the banks just by just comparing your returns, right? The bank is giving you 0.01% return. The stock market is giving you at least 8% return, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's go back to our investment calculator. So let's say that you start with that same amount of money, that $1,000, and you put $1,000 in a year. Let's see what our low end, that 8%, is going to give us. Okay, $80, right? And then at the high end, at 11%, you're going to get $110, which is a lot more than the was it 10 cents? The 10 cents that the bank gives you for holding that $2,000, right? So just from simple stuff, like, you can't beat the return that the market is giving, right? But remember, this is long term, so it's not like a 2 year time frame, right? We're talking about historically. So if you want to see those returns, you sort of like have to leave your money invested for a long time. Now, let's just say that we're expanding this to 10 years, right? And let's say that you start with no money and you're putting in $1,000 a year, say a year, right? Which is not a lot. You're talking about like $90 a month that you're saving, right? Let's see. And instead of like investing in the overall stock market, which you can do, you could invest in the SPY or VOO, which is investing in the market overall or the top 500 companies. Let's say you pick like one of your favorite companies, right? Like Apple. So the return for Apple in the last 10 years has been 28.73%. This is just the last 10 years. We go back, further than this, it's probably higher, right? But let's just go the last 10 years. And let's round that up to 28%, right? So if you invested on Apple for 10 years straight, putting $1,000 at the beginning or end of the year, and you're averaging 28% return, let's see how much money you're gonna make at the 10 years. And this is not doing anything. This is just putting $1,000 a year on Apple. $38,000. Well, that's not bad, right? So your contributions of 10,000 have netted you 28,000 in interest, and now you're worth 38,000. So that's not bad. Like, for not doing anything, that's not bad, right? That's just investing on a company that you love and that you use. And if we look at some other companies like Amazon, 32%, Alphabet, um, you get to see that the return is 30%. So we'll get similar numbers. But let's look at a company like Facebook. Okay, Facebook, 21% return. So Facebook at 21, $27,000, right? And let's look at Tesla. Let's look at Tesla real quick, because Tesla has been on a tear. Wow, 62% return over the last 10 years. We look at Tesla, 62. Wow. It's a lot of money, right? So your $10,000 would have been near 200,000 almost, right? We're talking about almost $250,000. All you did was a thousand each year, which is not a lot, which is about $90 a month, right? The key thing is consistency. You'll be looking at making this much money, right? And when you think about it, like a lot of people will spend $10,000 on a few vacations. You know, this is a low end, low budget wedding right here. So if you're able to just like manage your financials a little bit better, you'll be able to see returns like this, right? And the funny thing is, my friend has about $15,000 saved in her checkings account. In 10 years, you know, how much money is gonna be in her account if she doesn't do anything? Maybe like 15,050 bucks or something like that, right? Let's actually look it up. And I'm gonna have to tag my friend on this video. Um, okay. So 15,000, no contributions. Well, let's put zero contributions. At that percent from the bank, 0.1%. You know, let's be fair. Let's put the highest one that we saw, which was 0.82. 10 years. Wow, this is amazing. You get a whole $123. Like, are you serious? So for whoever got this much money saved in the bank, are you serious right now? Like, come on, man, get smartened up. And all I'm telling my friend is just take 10% out and just invest it in the stock market. Well, it doesn't even have to be the stock market. Just invest it in real estate, something, but do something with it. Do not leave the money sitting in the bank because you know what's happening? The bank is using your money to give out loans, to take care of their business. So you're just giving the money to your bank so they could take care of their business and they're rewarding you with $123. Come on, man, like smarten up. And that's what I'm talking about, right? So if you want to be safe, and this is what I told my friend, you don't want to invest in like Tesla or Apple or which, you know, if you love the company and you ask yourself, where is this company going to be 10 years from now? And if the company is going to be in a better position than it is now, why not? Like invest in it, especially if you're using the product and you like it. If you got the iPhone, the iWatch, the AirPods, and you're like in love with Apple, you got the Apple Plus, why don't you just invest some money in Apple? Come on, let's do it. Right? So if you don't want to take that risk, ETFs, you know, ETFs, index funds, that's what you got to do, right? So just let's just look at the return for some of the, you know, the top ETFs. So we're gonna go with QQQ, which is technology ETF. So the 10-year return for QQQ. We look at the 5-year. Yeah, this is not what I was trying to see. I'm not trying to see 10-year. Can we just get like the return, the percentage? Oh, here we go. There we go. Look, boom, boom, boom. 10-year, we got 20.36, right? Let's look at VOO. 13% return the last 10 years. Let's look at SPY. 10-year return, we're looking at 13%, right? So everything's looking better than, that bank. Everything's looking better than that 0.01%. Like that's a slap in the face. And these are some of the ETFs that I'm just like following. This one is very popular, so I just want to show you guys like what you're invested on. Okay. Um, so when you're investing in these ETFs, you are investing in their holdings. So it's just good to know like what companies they're holding, how they're split up, so you can get an idea. So this is Tesla, 10%, Roku, Square, Slack, Spotify, right? So if you like those companies, you will buy this ETF. Let me show you guys one more ETF. Let's look at this one. Let's look at their holdings, and then we'll look at the 10-year return. So this one is mostly technology. Paycom, Fastly, Twilio, Shopify. So if you like those companies, you will buy this ETF. So CLOU. CLOU. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yo, why can't I just get it without going into 1-year return? Wow, it's been killing it this past year. All right, here we go. So the 10-year return, about 8%. Right, so literally any ETF we pick is going to be higher than that 0.01%. Like you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Like that's it. And that's really it. And guys, I hope this was a little bit helpful, but at the bottom line, at the end of it all, just just you have a lot of money saved up in the bank, just take a little bit out, a little bit. I'm not telling you to cash out, transfer all your savings account into an investment account. Like that's not what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you is to take a percentage out and invest it long term, and just let your money work for you versus sitting in the bank and actually depreciate in value, because that's what's happening with inflation. So just be smart, and just learn how to invest. There's a lot of easy ways to do this. Right now you could do fractional share, so you could buy like a percentage of a company. So you could do reoccurring investments where the money's being directly taken from your checkings or savings account and invested directly into some of these ETFs or some of these companies that you really like. And then like it doesn't hurt to just have some of your money invested versus just sitting in the bank. So my advice is for you to do a challenge with me. So the challenge is to save up $100 a month. Right, so this is the monthly contribution. We're gonna start at 0, right? Let's do it for 20 years. Think about your kids, right? This is for your kids, it's not for you. Whether you have kids or you don't have kids, this is for them, right? You could pick a safe investment like QQQ or BOO, something that's gonna be around in 20 years. And then let's just go with the low end, 8%, which is the annual return for the market. And we're looking at total contributions of 24,000, and you have a end balance of 56,000. So you literally just made $32,000. And that's not a lot to ask for. It's not a lot that you're investing. It's just $100 a month. If you get paid by weekly, just take $50 from each of your paychecks, and that's it. So even if you don't like investing, if you're just lost, confused, and you don't know what to buy, just pick one of these ETFs that you really like, and or just invest in the overall market, SPY, and then call it a day. But the point is to invest and to have your money work for you, to have your money grow, and to just be a little bit more proactive with yourself. You don't want to just leave your money in the bank because your money's being used. Trust me, the bank is using it. They're just not giving you your cut. So they're just playing you. Simple terms, the bank is playing you. So you have to be smart with your investments. All right, guys. So that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Remember, this is called the calculator.net investment. So this is the investment calculator. I'll post a link on this video so you guys can just play around with this and see, come up with some goals, doesn't have to be 20 years. It could be, 5 years is a good goal, 5 years down the line. And, just 10% return and see how much you can invest, man. Because look, like I don't have that much money, so I could probably do $100 a month, $50 each paycheck. But if you could do $1,000 a month, and let's say you're gonna sacrifice yourself for 3 years, you know, it's 3 years. You're gonna work hard. It's $1,000 a month. You're gonna make it work. At a 10% return, it's $5,000. Which is not bad. You're being aggressive, right? What makes this work is the longevity. That's the most important thing. That's the takeaway, right? Because look, if you do it for 3 years, to be honest, it seems like it's not worth it. You're like, put $1,000 every for 3 years, and all I got was 5,000. That's nothing. But add a zero. Let's do it for 30 years. Boom. All I gotta say. You did it for 30 years. Now you have almost close to $2 million just in interest. Yeah, that's a lot of money too. Look at that, $360,000. So just think about it, right? And it doesn't have to be like 1,000, like I said. That's very aggressive. But if we go back to the 100, same returns. Oh, this is monthly. Hold up. Yeah, you're still looking at $250,000, right? If you want to do that 1,000 per year, if you do that 1,000 per year, you're looking at still $134,000 return in 30 years. And right now, like I'm in my 30s. I know I look very young, but I'm in my 30s. But if I do this, that's a nice retirement right there. Like that's nice. And I could do this. I could do this. Because to be honest, wait, $1,000 a year, that's nothing. Nah, hold up. Now let's do something realistic for me. Let's do 200 a month for 30 years, 10% return monthly. Okay, $500,000. To be honest, I want to become a millionaire. So let me see what number I need a month to be a millionaire in 30 years. This is how you got to do it, Well, look at that. I'm almost getting to my magic number. Boom. It's my magic number right there. So if I could take $500 a month for the next 30 years and invest it in the market, I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 64. Right? And that's good, like at least I'll be a millionaire before my time is up, right? And I know that it's gonna take me about $500 for 30 years. All right, guys. So I hope this was helpful. I hope those of you that got savings and checkings account, I hope you take maybe 10% out and just invest it. It could be on a on an ETF or an index fund if you don't want to take too much risk, or it could be on individual stocks like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Facebook, companies are going to be around 30 years from now. Definitely worth the investment. You can also diversify yourself by putting some money in Apple, some in Facebook, some in other companies that you do like. But like it's all about being part of the market, in my opinion. If you're not in it, you're not gonna win. And even though being in it is risky, um, like you gotta take some risk in life, but at least you can have some flexibility and control and you could see what's possible, right? But one thing I tell you, if you have $30,000, you leave it for 10 years in the bank, and you contribute $1,000 a year. Look at that, $133. Yo, I spend more money than that going out to eat. Like, so numbers don't lie, man. The numbers don't lie. So just smarten up and do what you gotta do. This is Juice. I hope this was helpful. Start investing. Never too late to start. Have a good one, yeah.